Tilton. Well, first of all, hello, you guys. Tina Tilton inside of the Taylor Tilton Hour. You're watching The Blend, where legends live. Let me tell you about an event that's coming up. I need you to join the One in Black Fathers March for a weekend of information and fun. Let me tell you, Saturday, April 1st, that's day one of it. Drum Major for Justice Parade. It's at 10 a.m. at Robert Park. You know, that's on Bill Street. And then Sunday, April 2nd, is the Black Fathers March Gala. Make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Black Fathers March Gala at 6 p.m. at the Candlelight Ballroom, located at 3015 Park Avenue. Tickets are available for this event now, and they are available on Eventbrite and parentingwithapurposeinc.org. And then on Monday, April 3rd, it's the official March Day at 4 p.m. featuring the Honorable Dr. Omar Johnson. If you need more information on that, it's on the ticker at the bottom, but you can also call 901-246-9659 for more information. But right now, I have two very special guests. Matter of fact, they are the promoters of this event, and it's none other than Cynthia Pulliam and Mr. Omar Baruti. Hello, guys. Welcome to The Blend.
Hello.
Hello. Good to be here.
Yes.
There we are. Great. You all have an amazing event that's coming up very soon, literally around the corner. Cynthia, before we get into the event, give me a little bit of background about yourself.
Basically, I've been in education for over 30 years, and social work. So I'm one of those drum majors for education. My son was killed in gun violence, which kind of was the foundation for what we're trying to do. He was killed in 2020. He was robbed and killed. And I kept asking the question, what is it? And I would ask Mr. Omar, and he said, you need to do your homework. So I did my homework, and I began to find out that Muslim families, you don't hear about this. And I was doing my research and went up on one of the interviews that Dr. Muhammad had given. And he said that, and he answered the question. He said that the reason you don't hear about Muslim kids doing all this gun violence and everything because they know who they are. And I was like, oh, they know who they are. So I began to do just a little bit more study to find out that it's like we've lost our love and passion, and we don't know who we are. The reason we do some of the things, the violent things that we're doing. So this march became passion for Mr. Omar as well. So he was like, and he came up with the answer that the Black father needs to be returned to the home. Because 98% of the female children that's incarcerated come from 1% of broken homes. It's only the mother there. So we need to bring the father back into the family. And that was Mr. Omar's passion.
Yeah. And Mr. Omar, can you expand on that for me a little bit?
Yeah, I'm like my sister. I taught school 5 years, and the only schools I taught in were inner city schools where you had to be expelled from other schools to even be put there. And I saw this behavior that had to be managed. And I kept thinking, and this is back in the early 60s, late 60s, right, when I graduated from college. But then, as I came on into the world, I became a prison minister. For over 30 years, I've been doing the prison ministry, and I kept seeing younger and younger children come to the prison. And some of these children have double murder, triple murder, who will never get out. And I kept trying to talk and I would take programs to the prison. I kept talking to the children, and I'm realizing that you're here because there's no father in your house, and there's no father in your life. So you don't have any guidance. The streets are guiding you. The TV is guiding you. The media is driving you. But your father's not guiding you because he's not there. My wife and I decided, let's try to stop crush this prison, this pipeline that takes our children from the schools to the prison. So we decided to do foster care. In an 8-year time period, we had 32 foster children. All of them were level 3, which means if you don't take them tonight, we're going to lock them up. And what we found out was that as we talked to the children to try to assess the behavior, It was the parent that shaped that child's behavior. or the lack of a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were trying to figure out how do we fix the child, well, we got to go fix the parent. Bring the father back in the house so we can show both of them how to do effective parent. It's not there anymore. And as a result, the children are becoming victims of the lack of the father in the household.
Whoa.
So we got to go back and put that piece of the puzzle back in the day.
You said a couple things that would pique my interest. Okay. And go ahead, Mr. Omar. Go ahead.
Yeah, you see, back in the day, the whole village raised the children. I mean, if you couldn't disrespect an elder, you couldn't do that. You couldn't bring nothing stolen to your mother's house. My first foster child was 12 years old, 34 felonies, and 5 of them were grand theft auto. How do you bring a stolen car at 12 years old to your parents' house? And there's no consequence for it. And I asked him, what did she say when you brought it? She just wanted to know if I had enough gas to take her to the store. I said, did she work at a store? He said, no, she's a booster. I didn't know what a booster was, so he broke it down to me. She'd go to Macy's and Tallheimers and dealers, and she would shoplift and bring it back to the community and sell it on the street corner. And she was rewarding him and praising him for being a good car thief. And he thought that was normal. And now this same child, now 26 years old, is in prison for stealing. But again, he was groomed like that. And every time I saw that kind of behavior, I went back to the parent. And that's the piece we got to fix. We got to fix that piece.
Yeah. And went back to the parent. There was no father in the home. And because there was no father or there was no male figure in the home, you kind of assessed that this had to be the problem.
It has to be. And when I look at the children today, they're listening to these gangster rappers. They're looking at video games that really say on the box it says for 18 years and older, but you're 12 years old playing this game. So it's giving you a mindset that it's okay to do what you see and see what you do. And you become what you see. Somebody can say something to you, but you don't follow the example. So when you see gangster rappers, and you think about that, gangster rappers' music is so poisonous, they kill each other. How many gospel singers have killed other gospel singers in the past, 100 years? How many rhythm and blues singers have killed each other? How many country and western singers have killed each other? The music is so poisonous, y'all kill each other. That is also poisoning our children. That mindset, we got to fix it. We got to solve it. And it's going to take the parents coming together as one unit to fix it. Like it was in my day. Mom and dad were in the house. Poor as hell, they were parents. And they took care of us and they made sure we didn't get in trouble. Not today, though. The TV is raising the child. The video game is raising the child.
This question. Cynthia, why do you feel, Cynthia, why do you feel that the mother thinks that strong enough to raise her children? Not that she isn't. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't any strong women out there, so please don't call or text or email. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is or in your opinion, what makes a woman think that she can the rearing of a child all by herself?
Well, I reared mine by myself. I was a single parent for 18 years. I think it's a choice, but I made sure that my sons had a positive male role model. So I don't say that she can't, but I feel that we do need a guidance as a head. We can't teach our kids to be king and queens when all they see is queens. I can't teach him how to be a man. I can teach him how to brush his teeth. I can teach him how to groom me. I can teach him, how to do some chores. But I still think they're looking in, because I had one of our callers called in and he said, everybody keeps telling us, be a man, be a man. How do you be a man? And I think only a man can tell you how to be a man. Because girls, think about it, we get trained from day one, how to be a woman. But men don't get that direct training. It has to come from a male figure.
Since you said that you were a single parent and that you chose that route, what would you say to a woman in your same situation, or maybe I'm even trying to ask because I am a married woman, but I want to know what made you specifically decide to be single.
You know what? I worked for Department of Children's Service, and I saw so many bad parent figures. And, because I was just devastated to know that a woman would choose a man over her child. And I was like, this is not going to happen to my kids. I don't care what it takes. If it takes me being celibate, whatever, I'm going to make sure they get the whole 9 yards. So I did it. I think it's just just saying, okay, I'm going to choose my children, over everything. And I made sure that they were in Sunday school. I made sure that they said their little Easter speech. I made sure that they, the basics were covered. And then I had a strong support team. My pastor would talk to my boys. The deacons would talk to them, everybody. So I think it's one thing about this march is this is just the beginning. Yes. We're all coming to the table and saying, we need our village back as well.
Yes.
Because I use the village as resources. When it didn't work out with my marriages, I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this to my kids up and down there. I need to make sure they have a strong foundation. So I use other programs, because with me working in social services, I knew that I needed a strong support system. So I made sure that they have like extracurricular activities and different things to keep their hearts and mind focused on that which was positive.
Okay. What are you getting out of the 1 Million Black Fathers March? Are
you're breaking up? We're getting every other word. We're getting every other word. So can you say it again? You hear it?
No, okay. I couldn't hear it.
Oh, it's recording. We'll edit it. It's no problem. So
okay.
I'm gonna ask you again. The title of this upcoming event is 1 Million Black Fathers March. Are you expecting 1 million Black men to grace our city?
We're expecting a large number to be at the park on the 1st and the 3rd. We're expecting to pack that gala out. Matter of fact, we want everybody to get their tickets. And this is the beginning, because this is the kickoff for something major in our city. Because Memphis, we have the highest crime rate. People don't want to come to Memphis and live anymore. So we want to turn this thing around from the root. We want to turn it around. So we have other people that's at the table, Mr. Red Wing, different organizations. It's not just ours. We had a meeting last Sunday, and it was like 75 people in that room. So,
including Judge Sugarman.
Yeah, Judge Sugarman,
Judge
Joe Brown, the director of commissioners for Shelby County Schools. So we want to bring the whole team together with parents, so that the parent is not left out either. And we also want to bring some of the children. We want to know what they feel, because every day we're coming into, these kids are fighting. Our academic scores are not where they need to be. And now they've given us a new challenge where these kids, if they're not reading, 3rd grade, they have to be retained. We just went almost, 2 years with this COVID thing. So how would that affect us? And that's one thing we brought Dr. Omar in, because he's a clinical psychologist. He is the best. We didn't just call him Dr. Omar. Omar and Umar, but we were talking about Mr. Umar. He's going to be able to answer these questions for those parents one-on-one. And I think that's vital to our parenthood and to the city of Memphis. And then he's going to help us see where we need to start in order to make a difference.
Yes.
And this is just the beginning.
Yeah. Congratulations too on this. saying that you and your wife, you all fostered for approximately 8 years or so, many children, 32 kids in and out of your door. How many of those would you say, especially males, would you say you guys can have proven a record of their success?
At least half of them were turned around. But I do have some that are in prison, and I have one that's dead now. And I look back at the one that's dead. He got killed right here in Memphis because of some abuse he was doing with his girlfriend. But it was because of the abuse he received from his mother and the neglect he received from his mother. Because she was strung out on drugs, and every time we took him to see mom, she was always, somewhere else in another world, a world of drugs and neglect. And he kept feeling rejected. And as he moved into the world, into life, he took that out on the lady that he had 2 children by. And of course, when she was being beaten, her father came over and had a confrontation with him, and he died. He got killed. But again, the child was shaped by the parent. And we got to go back and reshape our children, because the child didn't come out the womb shaping themselves. When they come out the womb, you are the teacher, the first teacher. You've got to teach that child all the skills of life, his moral value. You got to teach that child. You got to get him ready for the world. That's your job. Before they even go to school, you got to get him ready. But if you don't do that, then you're going to sign your child's life certificate, or you're going to co-sign his death certificate. But you're going to sign one or the other based on what you're doing with your child when they come into existence. And we got to do something with that. And the father has to come back to that house.
Wow.
You created that child. And think about this, Tina. So many birth certificates we saw when the child came in, it said father unknown. You don't know who you slept with? Come on now. But now the video game becomes.
And you know what, Omar? That's what I was about to ask you too. Is there's now we're talking about the blacks and the black communities. Many of us have not are not choosing to become in a matrimonious committed relationship anymore. So where do we go from here? What needs to take place, in your opinion?
We need to have more videos in the media where you have black men marrying black women, and that needs to be a common practice. Instead of this thing about you got a girlfriend and you getting some sweets in the sheets and you ain't got to be responsible for nothing. That needs to go. But that's the role model we got right now. And the thing too, if you have a wife and y'all get divorced, you don't divorce your children. Your children are you. They're gonna be with you till you pass off the earth, and you got to make sure you take care of them until you pass off this earth. I mean, I got 8 children. I got divorced several times, but look, my children, I don't divorce them. They belong to me, and they're gonna be with me until I leave this world. And today, when they want some advice, they don't call mama's boy. They call me. I'm gonna talk to my daddy, and that's all the time. And that's the way I want it to be.
Yes.
I mean, when child support ended, I had a company, Allstate Insurance. I hired them to work for me so they could always have a check. I gave them a car, a laptop, to make sure that even though there's no child support, you can have my support, and you ain't got to pay for it. You belong to me till I leave here. Ain't nothing gonna change. And everybody got a college degree, because I got one, you get the same thing. I'm walking the path, you're gonna follow me. But again, that's what fatherhood has to be. You're the role model. They looking at you.
I like that stance.
Yes. Yeah, and Tina, I was a daddy's girl.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry. Say it again, Cynthia.
I said I was a daddy's girl, and you get a lot of advice from your mom, but it's something about the advice that your daddy give you just sticks with you. I can, even now when I'm getting ready to make a decision, though my father has passed, my first question is, what would daddy say? And that really kind of like is my ground. Okay, if your dad could see you now, he would be proud of you. Your dad just could see you now, he'd be displeased in you doing this or that. Yeah. So it's like moms are nurturing and loving, but dad is direct. They be, they don't sugarcoat to us. We were never, as a child, I was never allowed to play with a doll. Never. My dad said, that's a natural instinct. Look at the animals. Don't they take care? The mother, does she take care of them? He said, you don't need to learn how to rock no baby. You get something in your head. And that was his quote every day. And so it does. I mean, the dad is it's essential. So.
Yeah. Wow. It's on Barbie doll. Oh no, you never had a Barbie. Not even a black Barbie.
No, Daddy said no. Boys couldn't have guns and girls couldn't have dolls. Never a gun. We never had a gun in our house. And we never had dolls.
Okay. So, Mr. Omar, what advice would you give to the young black father today?
The advice is to go back and reclaim our culture, because in Mother Africa, you were a father and your children went through a rites of passage to get to manhood. They didn't just, sag their pants and put a weed behind their ear and they're a man. That ain't a man. You showed them what a man was like, and they walked that path with you. We got to do that same thing today. Like what Cynthia's saying, the pastor, the deacons in the church were mentoring young men. That needs to come back.
Yes.
Because I got that when I was in the church. I was a Sunday school teacher. My dad did it at home. My school teacher did it at school. And my church deacons, they did it at the church. I had 3 sources of that kind of manhood in my head, that kind of power that came to me. So I didn't get off track of, look, everywhere I go, it was there.
Yes.
That's got to come back. It's got to come back. Our children depend on us, and if we don't give it to them, if we don't give it to us, we're going to lose them. And it's happening too much right now.
Yeah, but you know what? Even before COVID, then we were already losing our, and a lot of it does have to do with the parents that are, and I said, I've shared with my siblings, I said, I feel like the parents, again, that are children, because we're the ones that are saying you don't have to go to church, you don't have to attend, you don't have to, you can come home and bring a stolen car home, foolishness. And I'm like, where did that fall? And I'm trying to think, I can't really answer the question, because for me, I had an upbringing, my mom and my dad, and we they call Huxtable. Y'all live the Huxtable's life. Well, if you want to call it, but many love that, especially in this city. So still, I'm just like, we start with the parent, right? I think
it has to start with the parent.
Yes. And Tina, we spoke Sunday at the meeting with Dr. Redwing. We're going to bring in those 9 principles that Charlie Caswell has a book out. I don't know if you all know Charlie. He's a city commissioner, and he has a big book out with the 9 principles for us to put together to come to the table. And we're going to bring all 9 of those. And I spoke with the director of the Shelby County Commissioners Board of Directors, and we're going to do 1 pilot school next year. We're going to wrap around every service, everything, and the 9 principles to make sure, and we're going to use that as a pilot for the next 10 years, whatever it takes for us to turn this around.
And I'm expecting Dr. Umar Johnson to bring us at least a 5-point action plan of things that we must do to get our family on track.
Yes. Yes.
So that way when they leave, they got an action plan. They can implement that, and we're going to make it work. Because Memphis, we got to change it, we got to fix it, and we can do it.
Yeah.
And we got to stop accusing everybody else.
Yes,
and look in that mirror.
And again, I truly appreciate you guys for having such an event that is inviting the community.
Yes.
Yes, we got to. Yes. It's critical. We got to do this.
So again, I thank you all as promoters. Thank you for inviting even Dr. Umar Johnson. Can't wait to see him on Shucks. Oh yeah, by the way, let's announce your event. Again, it's a 1 million Black Fathers March. Saturday first, she's a drum major, so they have drum major for justice.
Yes.
It's PM at the ballroom. Make sure that you get events. Now, let me backtrack. At the park, free.
Yes, everything got to
But Sunday, April 2nd, at the Candlelight Ball at 6 p.m., there is a park. Yeah, there is a fee.
Yes.
You can purchase your tickets on Eventbrite. But then Monday, you got another free event. Monday, April 3rd, the official March day at 4 p.m. And Dr. Umar Johnson will be taking a step back. These dads come on out. I saw that on the flyer. There's a TikTok challenge with the dad and the children.
Yes. We're trying to make sure we involve everybody. Everybody.
That should be fun.
Because they need to know who they are, and we're going to be sharing with parents. We got a lot of free things that's going to be out there at the park. So don't say, "Well, I didn't come because I didn't have money." You don't need any money in the park. All we need is you. Just come. We're going to have lots of relay races and different things with the father and sons. We're having a fashion show for father and son. So all you elected officials and whoever else that wants to participate, bring your son out. We're having a fashion show for the men. And us ladies are going to be there to cheer them on too, Tina.
Oh. Yeah, woo! In the words, let's hear it for the boy.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You remember that song. Guys, well, thank you for being a guest on today's Tilton Tha Blend. Once again, Mr. Omar Baruti and Miss Cynthia Pulliam for Father's March that's taking place over the weekend of April 1st. Second, we again want to see your face in the. Thank you so much, Omar and Cynthia, and thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye. So hold still.